Divine-gpms.world is a worldwide cumulative gathering of consents for every child, woman, and man to ratify and enact into law worldwide the all-inclusive replacement system of money and law worldwide, as outlined on the consenting website of divine-gpms.world. It is imperative that all worldwide take a couple of minutes and consent to add your accord, children included.
Greetings to everyone. We are on November 2, 2nd, 2025 in divine-gpms.world, open public worldwide meeting with Rick George. He is the founder of GPMS and also our guardians all over the world. Thank you so much to everyone that participates on the meeting today. Rick, all the time I prefer to start with the news because you posted there minimum two very interesting subject. One, it is about a ship that we started to see that above Romania, probably also in other corner of the world, because our brother and sister finally wants for us to be more aware that they are here with us, and it's like a flag for their presence. And also you posted about the Antarctica, pyramid buried there and everything, and right now there is an ascension in place in that parts. So I saw that there is a work in progress there. What it is about?
Yeah, great. Yeah, with ships, physics and space and time, the way that humanity knows it, let's say they're beginning to open up to more of the truth, but without going deeper into it. Um, Earth for millennium, if you will, has been visited by different ships, crafts, light beings, and what have you. And what I need to say is that time and space is not constant. And what this means, a ship as big as a city can also, let's say, make itself as small as the tip of your finger. And just to keep it simple, the reason for this is that space and time is not constant. And once you have a race that knows about dimensional space, then the laws of physics that humanity knows no longer applies. So just to keep it simple, this is why you can have a ship of any size, but also you can have a ship that can take on any shape, disguise, and form like a cloud. And there are ships, yes, that does take on the cloud formations as well. And with ones as they advance into their empathy and their sensitivity, ones are able to distinguish between what in the sky is actually a cloud and what is a ship. So this is not foreign to humanity in that respect. So what we did have the other day over Romania, and by the way, I did get another divine feminine in Romania, perhaps 300 miles or 200 miles away. At the same time, she also photographed a similar craft to what I did. And yes, and not only there too, Femke had sent me a photo from the Netherlands, and I just remembered now I didn't zoom in on it, but I believe there was also at the same time a ship there. But for any, if you go and look, on the social medias worldwide, you'll see many different ships photographed by different ones that, let's say, the untrained eye would just say it's a cloud, if you will, but it's not. And these are very real. Um, and again, we are approaching those multi-dimensional proportions, getting ready at least for first public contact to some degree. Now, what is occurring is that the awakened ones have evolved enough in their physical organic vessel to generate the vibration and frequency that allows for that interaction with other multi-dimensional beings and races, if you will. So that is already here. And what I wish to say, you can have one that's awakened and look up, as an example, in the sky and see a physical ship, where you can have one that's not awakened. They'll look up and they'll see nothing, because it depends upon the evolution of the physical vessel of the one, their organic evolution, and also their consciousness evolution, to be able to see these and have more of these multi dimensional experiences and contacts, if you will. But what we have is so many are at different levels of their evolution. So this also means their experiences will be, let's say, unique to their level, what they're at, typically. However, in extreme cases, one can be not awakened and have the multi-dimensional, profound experience that catapults them forward instantly. And you could also use the abrupt awakening that occurs with it. So everything on earth is not by chance, nothing is random, everything is prescribed with this overall ascension. And let's say when one is needed to join the collective evolved consciousness, then they will be abruptly awakened as well to get them to join. So without without complicating this, just to keep it as simple and generic and basic, I will say that with Antarctica, yes, we have done several activations. We are also doing our upcoming activations, and what this does is there is a sword cross formation that is being activated on Antarctica, and it evolves this consciousness evolution as well. So things are done incrementally, divinely, and on a higher divine architect level. So we work in the etheric, if you will. It's not that we work physically. We are able, with what we do, with our gifts, we transcend time and space with consciousness in the least, but not limited to. So, yes, Antarctica is important. What you'll begin to see is some more earthquakes will be coming out of there, which will be recorded. We did certain work just the other day, and seeing the Drake Passage, that it sparked another small quake. And yes, this one, we take the credit for that because we were doing work there. But also we anticipate some more quakes. Also, there will be more accelerated melting of Antarctica. It's already ongoing. If any of you have been, let's say, on Google Earth for the last 10 years or so, you will see the changes in Antarctica with more bare places, because, yes, it has been melting to expose not only more of the terrain and land there, but also some of the ancient buried architecture and technology. So again, humanity is not alone, and humanity never was alone. So there are things that are being revealed. Um, as I'd mentioned last week, which is still coming, is some minor earthquakes, at least for New York. Uh, I did see this week one occurred in Washington, a small one, which is an indicator for this. And this is not to spread any fear, but it's to spread the truth for ones to listen up to what we are saying. So when they're informed ahead of time of what's going to occur, like the flooding of New York you saw this week, we have spoken about this several months ago. So you saw Brooklyn underwater to as high as the waist, I believe. You've also saw New Jersey underwater from the storm the other week. You know, these are unprecedented events. You also, if you're to look currently at the center of Vietnam, it is under huge flooding in the center of it. And again, we had Spain once again with vehicles floating down city streets, and not only isolated to there. In the US, again, is getting, let's say, hit with more of these intense floodings and other tornadoes, other what you would call disasters. And when you look at Melissa with the devastation that it did to Jamaica, um, was is very extensive as well. And what I need to say, pretty well unprecedented, if you will, in the Atlantic, a late hurricane, but to that unprecedented force. So again, it's not to hide what is occurring, and it's not to butter it up with love and light. Yes, love and light is here, but there is also things must occur to this extent because there is evil and nefarious ones on earth, and earth is being transitioned into the heaven on earth, and not all will make it. However, again, it's with the faith and the trust of the individual in their self at overcoming the fear and ideally connecting with the prime creator. And anyone that suggests that there is not a prime creator consciousness, what I need to say is they're just not fully informed yet. Yes, there is God. It is very real. No one would be here if not for creation itself. And creation itself is not by chance. You can see the perfect design in every plant, every animal. Um, Everything on earth, but nevertheless. Uh, so yeah, I believe I summed that up. If there was anything else, Sister Beatrice.
I would like to see to show also the ship how can be seen maybe in this way. Many others may see that ship. Okay, so it is right here.
Yeah, I thought photographs there too of it that are closer. This is what it is, a Pleiadian ship. It is a plasma ship, if you will. And I didn't quite catch the colors with it as it went more multi-dimensional. You'll get the pinks, the blues, the Pascal colors, if you will, which are very beautiful. And this is indicative of a ship as well, and especially when they come and they do not move, they stay stationary. And even when you have windy days, they'll stay stationary, which makes it more obvious that they are a ship. But in this day, it was not windy and it remained there. So this is a great example, yes, of a ship that is cloaked, that looks like a cloud, but it's not.
Okay. Now, because the humanity it is on the fourth dimension since October 2023, those that they are still on the fourth dimension, are they able to see this kind of plasma ships?
Yes, they're able to see them when they're cloaked, but what would occur if you take this one as an example? Most of humanity would see this one, but they would not see the colors because their multi-dimensional eyesight has not adjusted to it yet. An unawakened one can see the colors if they are with an awakened one that points it out or touches them, then it activates their eyesight enough to see the colors as well. And this does occur, but many you would, if they're not awakened, there could be one of these ships on a busy highway, and most, if they're not awakened, they just drive speed by it. While you have, let's say, one or two that's awakened, they pull over and begin to watch it and observe it, do more things and change its colors and what have you. So it's yeah, but that's how it works for now, anyway.
Okay, so we need a belief on true God and also meditation, affirmation, and everything that it is needed because we have not glasses for ascension to start to see the ships. So we need to develop from inside out.
Well, well,
Some
the
people
key
like
is, yeah, the key is for one not to have any fear. So they may not even know God yet, but once they reach that place of no fear and trust in their self, they actually activate the God or goddess within them. And then it's when they're in that state that they have mastered fear that they're open to the next level and they'll become to realize and began to connect with a much higher consciousness and a being, God, if you will, than what they are. So it's part of the process with it. So one can, yes, be fearless here, but it's a step. Being fearless is a step in their course of discovery to more of who they are, but that they're connected to the main Godhead, if you will, and that it is an actual supreme consciousness. So you have ones, if you will, that ego's a beautiful thing, but it is restrictive, and that's why we always say you must have humility. And the Jesus spoke about this because it's the importance that if you have ego, it will block you from the higher truths because the human logic will have a lower ego that will not open the trust, which is so important, that comes with the humility. Even though you're a god and goddess within, you're not the only one here on earth, and definitely not the supreme one. And again, as I say, if everyone was that own creator of your own reality, none of us would be here doing this. We'd all be gone in our God's worlds or goddess worlds. But it's because we're not gone is the proof that there is something much more than the individual. But again, it's part of their progress and their journey uh, of discovery.
Thank you so much, Rick, for all this information. Um, I can put up a lot of question, but we are on GPMS meeting that we should allow the space for GPMS, what is happening. I saw the spiritual mama, she started meditation directly from the Zoom UK. And also Christine, she tried to gather money for printing everything that it is possible to print. I would say for the cards, Serhi, we spoke about the cards, especially in North America, like Canada, United States. We have the Vista print that is printing 2,000 or 2,500 cards for around 100 Canadian dollar, not more than that. So having cards on your pocket, this is very important anytime. And shirts or something like it depends if there is an event. For the printing stuff, I'm so sorry to say that Vista Print is not the best one. I printed enough with Vista Print to know that. For those that they are a little bit on construction field, we can create a poster. Everything that we need is just to print the GPMS website and also the logo and some wording on plastic stuff that will resist also during the winter time and will be attached to plywood and everything that can be built very, very easy by every single one of us if you have a house and can be put on buildings. So this is also important. On the street, I believe that it's a little bit expensive. It might be uh, amount of money per month to be spent all the time for the space that it is there. I do not know how many from us need to gather to pay this kind of stuff directly on the highway, but on your living space, car, from inside, especially that can be seen on the window, because the decals, unfortunately, with the weather in Canada, when you are in very high speed and it is very high wind there, will detach the decal from the car. So I know that I'm involved on the Freedom for so many years. The easy way is to print cards. And I printed only flyer until Serhi told me also try with cards. And I know it's amazing because the cards have color. And yeah, so I would say in Alberta, where I'm living, it's almost nothing else than the event that I participated, like Independence of Alberta. Independence of Alberta, it's not a real independence. As I said, it is more independence from the evil, that it's like an economic reform um, for the people to start because they believe that in Ontario there are so many immigrants that they are not very interested on the place as Canada. This is not true. So Rick, here a little bit our consciousness for the planet that includes also Antarctica needs to be high enough to understand that we do not need to have only our backyard developed, but we need to unite, and the planet is the most important. Then we'll put our effort and develop everything. I do not know from where this consciousness is coming all the time. I need to do something on my area because others they are not doing that. And if I'm doing only so basically they are saying I'm not able to change things on my area of living. So if I'm not able to change things on my area of living, how can I expect to open the borders, and how can I expect to see something that will move to the international level and everything? So they want to see that. But at the same time, for years and years, we have an international freedom movement. So what can we answer to these leaders, because they are freedom leaders, that they want to develop on their area, and this is the reason that they create also new borders others than the countries they create inside of the countries, existing countries, they create new borders. Yes, Rick.
Well, again, what we wish to do is keep the focus on the solution. There's so many complaints, lower consciousness out there, and so much fighting, and we understand it is an important part of the process, and it's a integral part. But what I will say is that I was very surprised with Ray yesterday morning when I got up. She asked me how I was feeling. I was taking. I said, "What?" I said, "I'm feeling great," and she mentioned with the consciousness overall that it is shifting up and that more are being open, which is a very good sign. And I did not ask her; she did it on her own accord, and of course, it's great news. So again, having said this, with these leaders, they are, for the most part, in the aggression and in the fear. So it's difficult at times to reach them. And again, what we say is go to the flanks, go to the sides of the crowd, or the ones, that are a little bit at the back of the crowd, because these are the more objective ones that are more open to the solutions. Anything with immigration, I'll just put the whole thing in North America and even South America. Anything with immigration is that it was the ones, yeah, I'll take Trump, if you will. Trump himself is an immigrant. The actual land of North America, the custodians were the indigenous native ones that was there first. Anyone else is the actual immigrants. And what I need to say is that if they think they own the land, again, no one owns the land, but if they think and say they do, then they are in possession of stolen goods because no one ever gave them a purchase agreement. And let's say the first natives or the first settlers in North America, they did not go through any immigration status with the natives that were already there. So I'm taking this a little further out to show how ridiculous it is. And it all began with the nefarious Roman Empire, where you can trace this all back, conquer and enslave. You also can go to Australia and also, more importantly, Africa with the slave movement and what the British, if you will, more so did. And this is not the British people themselves, it was the monarchy. It's these high up elite ones that has been prevalent through all time, which are the minority, less than decimal 5%, that created and caused all of these things. So no, again, with Divine-gpms.world, there is no borders, there is no individual land ownership, only the custodian basis to take care of the land worldwide, and you don't go and beat up. Um, I need to say with Mexicans, because this topic come up today, they are native to North America. They have more rights there than what Trump does or any of the settlers and immigrants. And that is the truth. They have more of the moral law and moral rights than what Trump does. And, this is absolutely ridiculous that the white regime created the problems, the elitist, the again the head ones created all these problems, and then they keep creating more victims out of the problems that they created. It's insanity and it's psychotic. Again, when GPMS is the full solution for everyone worldwide. So I don't wish to, constantly repeat the same things on these video on these meetings. If I may, I want to take this time. I got a couple points down. I want to just go into. So with TikTok, I'm on there now, and that's been more productive. We're getting more word spread out there, which is very great. Brother Dan, Sister Kristen, Sister Maxine, um, and some others are also beginning to get more of a presentation and awareness out there. Uh, on the website this week, we've added some new consent buttons. Typically, we had just one at the top for the recent past, but what we have done now, we have added three more down the landing page. So if someone's scrolling, they can see them quicker to go and add their consent. And we've changed the color a little bit more lighter pink, if you will. And when you click on the consent, it now turns blue and opens up. We've also added on the top of the page the reason why you have been awakened. So we just added that in there. And for the simple reason, the way search engines work and what have you, the word awakened or awakening is very important to also direct others towards gpms.world, because divine-gpms.world is all of the awakened should be here with it now, but we're still gathering them. Also, this week in our Telegram country groups, I put in a suggested list of what ones can do to, let's say, promote the awareness of divine-gpms.world. And Sister Beatrice said a couple of those things, but I put in a list of, you can have gatherings, if you will, and the list is there for all to see. I just forget all of the particulars, but pass out cards, word of mouth. Also, this week I put out, I did a live about an hour long, The Assurance, titled The Assurance, which is divine-gpms.world, part 3. And I spoke on that one about the children. Uh, Everything that Divine GPMS does for the children, for their future, and to sustain their full, free, and safe reality, what Divine GPMS does. And of course, their full abundance, their love, and the family units that bringing them all back together. Um, I only have another thing here. So partially too, what you mentioned, Sister Beatrice, is there's a lot of chaos, civil unrest out there, and one of the questions is, how bad does things need to get? Well, things need to get as bad until the people make the right choice and join with Divine GPMS.world, so we get this insanity over as soon as possible. And yes, there's divine intervention to the degrees to support a rapid evolution into divine GPMS. And that is occurring. So humanity is being subjugated to great tests, the great trials and tribulations, and yes, the great judgments, if you will. It's all very real, and anyone that would take a moment to be objective and look at it, they could see that what was written, if you will, is really occurring. One more little thing. We've got here the toxins. Yeah, this is for the US. Well, not only the US, I need to say Europe as well. the toxins in the foods, the water, the MK Ultra, um, the mind controlling, the brainwashing, um, in the medicines, in the drugs. These are all things that, if you will, that were perpetrated upon the consciousness of humanity to maintain and control them, of course, as we know, and this is basics. And out of the great desperation of the darkness 5 years ago, then they attempted to subdue the consciousness because what was occurring with all of the chemicals and things put in foods and all of the drugs, it was not working. Humanity was awakening. They were breaking through all of the conditioning factors the darkness had. So their last desperate attempt occurred about 5 years ago when they did the mass prescription worldwide in a vain attempt to control the awakening of humanity out of the illusion. But still, again, none of this works because there is the omnipotent divine intervention to ensure it. So one's is doing when they go down the rabbit hole and they begin to do the research, they see all of these perpetrations that was actually meant to cause harm and do suffering. It's all part of one's processes, if you will. So, how bad must it get? I hope sincerely it doesn't get much worse, but with what we are seeing escalating worldwide with civil unrest, which is prevalent, it's growing, it's mounting. Also, natural disasters, which is making it harder and harder upon many more. But again, it's all designed for humanity to make the choices. And again, when you look at these natural disasters, yes, there is minimal life that is lost. And when you look at what is lost as well, it's you could say, I would say it's not any genuine souls that are going forward, that it perhaps or maybe one or two, if you will, in an area, but it may be the culling, if you will, from the wheat from the chaff that is occurring. So I'll stop there. Brother Sergey wishes to say something, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. I just would like to add a couple of things to the point how it's going to get as bad as possible to continue talking about this. It's like we already in Canada have some propositions of the bill in the parliament. Like they're trying to vote these bills on, like bill C2, bill C8, bill C9. It's exactly kind of like taking our freedom away. It's like we will not be able to speak anything freely because anyone who can just tell you it's like a hate speech and can just call police on you or something else, and more and more and more. It's like they're taking everything of us, and we will not have any freedom anymore. So it's going bad. And another thing to us going bad as it is, it's like, for example, recently I saw a movie, they put the movie, they just tried to warn us and say, hey, people, it's so, we said to you, it's like, look, we already made a movie. Name of the movie, it's like House of Dynamite. And there it's like some kind of scenario, it's like AI taking control of the nuclear weapon and shoot some weapon from a Japanese sea or Chinese sea over to the USA land. And that's how the war is starting. And nobody taking responsibility who shoots the first missile because nobody knows. It's like AI start shooting. It's like they cannot control the situation. It's like AI already in the military bases, and AI already like trying to control the kind of the tactical wars and all of this. And one day it will be out of control. It's like people need to step up and not wait for the government to do anything good. They're just going down as bad as they can. And thank you to the galactics. They're up in the sky and just somehow already dismantled these missiles a couple of times. It's like not popular topic, but it's what's happened. And thanks to them, they're still in control. And the governments, they're just going down very bad. And we need to step up and vote and for consent to the Divine-gpms.world, because it's not like people will see very worse scenarios around. Thank you very much.
Yes, Sergio, we do not need this fight, even we do not need this civil unrest. Everything that we need to unite under GPMS, then start from there, because the people that they are in the position of power and they are still harming people through the water, food and everything, they will have no the right to decide on that way or to continue on that way anymore. So even with this civil unrest, I would say it's still not something that is necessary if the people gather with GPMS. If the people do not gather with GPMS, then we have this civil unrest necessary for those that they are not able to see. Because those that they are able to see, they just gather and they go in another direction and they understand that the power is in number. But because not so many are gathering on the correct direction, then we still need this civil unrest. Then the population start to see something that it's happening. It's not necessary. With GPMS, we do not need that. Basically, they are removed from their own power to do harm. This is everything. We do not need even to arrest them. Dave, what is happening in British Columbia and in Canada, in your opinion, and also in the world at this time?
Well, I think the best way to sum up the whole program is after 6 years of observation, it's pretty clear that that it's not by the overthrow of the common individual that this transition will happen. I say that only because if you're able to convince one person that there is a solution, it is GPMS, and it will bring peace and freedom to everyone on Earth, there's another 10 or 15 or 20 or possibly more who are signing up to university or academia or sitting on the couch and watching TV, watching the media. And so this is an obvious paradigm or phenomenon that's occurring before us all, and it has been for 6 years. So it's not like we haven't had experience with this. We've been hard at it for 6 years in many cases. And in my case, since the late 1970s, when I discovered falsehood, within the, medical paradigm. And so that's my point, is that if anybody's questioning, why it's taking this long, Brother Rick referred to it when he said it's going to have to get worse until people actually see the truth, and that's something I've been saying as well. That until pain comes to the front door, nobody is inclined to sit up and take notice. And so then you're left with what are the paradigm shifts that could occur to move this in the direction to overcome the falsehood that's been ruling the planet up till now. And again, I go back to Brother Rick in the photo of the ship the presence of extraterrestrial support is enough to turn this thing upside down, as is the the shakeup of the planet that has been predicted by Edgar Cayce and Michael Gordon Scallion and the rest. So there's a few things that could occur in that vein, which is essentially an extension of the Father's hand, as the the culling or the removal is also taking place. So these are things that that I see in British Columbia here, that you asked for. It's a transition that is and will occur. From my research, it is the establishment of eternal light and life. And folks are welcome to do that same research. The Urantia book covers it very clearly, and the fundamentalists refer to it as the kingdom of heaven on earth. So the information is there for anybody who wishes it. It's just a matter of the mystery of how do we get from A to B, and those are the things that will bring it forth in a serious way. And so that's about all I can say. There is more people willing to listen to and take the GPMS card now than there was 5 years ago. So that's a definite. That's something I've observed. But overall, the presence of falsehood is still in full force, and that's like I say, that's dominating the landscape, and it will until we experience some sort of a paradigm shift. So those are my observations from this little town in southern BC, and we have to maintain the faith and keep moving forward and look for the signs that are there to move this in a serious direction forward, because they will come. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Davis. Through GPMS, it is on phase 1 consent, and it is all about how to move from the state A to B, from the actual system to heaven on earth. This is all about. At the same time, my expectation was if the native Indian are here, as Rick said, on North America for so long time, and they know do no harm law should be a collaboration more with GPMS, but some part of them, they are still on the fighting, as Rick said, fear, aggression, like independence of Alberta. So they support everything else. We really hope that a miracle may happen, and they start to see better than passing from the A to B, pass through GPMS and not through other kind of groups or other development. And we may unite and see what we can do. So unfortunately for everyone, I'm in Alberta for years, and so basically sharing cards, it's Beatrice, and other few. So it was sometimes, but I saw now a team of native Indians here that they will start to send even cards of GPMS, but I saw rejection. Do not speak about GPMS, even during their second basically when they gather and they push the universal laws, and they said that they have a ceremony and everything. It was the second convoy of Canada. So this rejection come from somewhere, and this is not an alignment with true God, and I do not know what really happens there. But I expected for Canada to be the first one to start, but it's not the case. So I expected also for Romania to start. It's not the case. So we saw with Rick what problems we had there. And we try through a big group that gather a lot of people as doctors, spiritual ones, as priest that is speaking about true God for 20 years, but is not coming with GPMS. So what we saw in Romania is basically what we saw here also in Canada. Just do not speak about the United States. So really, I do not know what is happening because the people can pass from the state A to B in a moment, but this is not happening. So, and I'm not speaking, as I said before, only about the native Indians. I have no expectance anymore. I saw also in the Romania what happened. We had also the experience also with some leaders from politics also in other countries as Australia and everything. So simple, they are not choosing the correct path, and this is the reason that the time is moving forward. We will see 6 years, 7 years, or how many, and basically those that they remain as souls on the body on earth will be less and less. So we simply are losing them. Rick, a little bit on about all this situation. It's so linked with the ascension. So the people see, but they are not able to see the complete programming, and they believe that they see, and they lead the masses. Some of they have many followers, but not in the good direction. They choose all the time things that basically solution that are less than GPMS, and they just go inside of a circle repeating the actual system. What is happening exactly with the ascension, with the fifth dimension? Because the fourth dimension was on October 23. Right now we are by the end of 2025.
Well, amazingly, what I'm witnessing and observing again this week by observing the overall consciousness is that there is such a huge awakened community out there. They're speaking again all of the right things, but yet they're right at the cusp of speaking about Divine-gpms.world. So, with the observations, yes, there are so many worldwide, but again, there are variables and there are unknown factors that I don't really have in this operating consciousness of how long it will take. We see everything supporting and setting up for it. And ideally, as Dave mentioned, and you as well with Canada and also with Romania right here, still it's not any opening for anything yet. You should have ideally these leaders, as you were saying about, should be coming to us with these large groups. That's what should be occurring. And we always keep open that any moment that this will occur, because when you look at the evolution of the consciousness in these groups, there are no other choices for them. They have exhausted, all all avenues, that there remains only the one choice, and that is Divine-gpms.world. Um, so again, everything is set up for this, but it's that time factor with it. Father says in December 31st, it's most likely, yes, it still can be in the blink of an eye. For example, if we had, let's say, some of the more widespread public first contact, this can do it. We're seeing the signs towards that, but it's like it's incremental, and we have so many ready to break through, but what is holding them back, I cannot readily say, because what I look at is they're ready, but for whatever reason, for let's say divine reasons, they cannot break through yet, perhaps because of the masses that are still need a little bit more of the hardship to go through. Then we can take everyone together. But again, with the miracles, yes, we're seeing more signs in the skies. I believe what occurred was seen around the world with the rifts, I believe, in the sky this week or a few days ago. I mean, how many more signs does one need? But also, which is true, is that more are turning towards God. And as they do that, it opens them up to seeing more of the questionable things and miraculous things. And that also uplifts the consciousness. With the Atlas, if you will, the three eye, um, that has had a good impact at taking ones forward and preparing ones, if you will, for first contact in the least, but also towards understanding that at least there is not the hostility with this. Without me going deep into that, I really don't wish to, but the overall thing is they're ready, but they're just not here yet. It's what we're seeing and what we're saying. But on TikTok, I'm happy to see. I look today because I scroll through that too to get a gauge of the consciousness, and there was one younger female, perhaps in her early 20s, impressive. She's speaking everything. So I drop Divine-gpms.world in there, hoping she will get it. But I'm seeing more young people that they're speaking, the truth, and they're ready for Divine-gpms.world, but there's still a disconnect for some interesting reason. So again, we just keep going forward and doing our best with sharing the awareness of it. So it's the same old story, I believe. Thank you.
Yeah, looking a little bit on Romania freedom movement, what I hear it's still fighting with Hungarians people and expecting to get rid of the Jewish people that they are on top position in Romania. It's likely, I do not know, and they post this kind of stuff so many times, and they are making videos about that. So I do not know when they will start to end this fighting and understand that many, like 2 billions on earth, they are soulless people, and this is all about. It's not about nationality, like Romanian, Hungarian, Jews or something like. It is all about people with no soul and people with soul, and how we can shift from the point A to B, as they've said, it's via GPMS, and they should put more question about that. And it's very, very simple. It's basically the consent, the number. When the number is coming on this direction, the shift is done. So they do not need to fight. The people do not need to fight with governments. Yeah, it's quite long since 2021, when basically the consents were open to the public finally for do no harm law implementation. It's really a long time from that time. We really hope that this may come in very, very short time, but right now we have the assurance from God that could be like more likely. If not, we'll see what may happen in 2026. I do not even want to think 2027. I want this to happen on December 2025 or in 2026 maximum. Lodi, what is happening on Philippines? How the people are looking about GPMS, and really what is happening with the natural disaster and everything that you were so touched because of that. And we should have also a Philippine meeting, a monthly Philippine meeting these days.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. With the disasters or the floodings and the earthquakes, it is continuously going on. But in my area here in Manila, I am not really aware or affected because Philippines is made up of islands and islets. So um, basically it is scattered. So in the remote provinces, it is where the eruption of volcanoes and most of the earthquakes are going on. But currently now, a super typhoon is expected to enter the area of the Philippines. So uh, it is down in the Visayas region. That is where they are expecting this within these days that is coming. And with the consents, of course, there are still some brothers and sisters that's been collecting and sending me the names. So it's trickling, but it is continuously coming in. And recently, I have an update from the Tagbanwa tribe in Palawan. They will be having a celebration because they have built their church in the ancestral domain, and they are uh, crediting GPMS, though I am not really aware of why and how, that they are very happy and mentioning that GPMS is the only organization or group that had recognized their sovereignty somehow, because they said they have encountered various organizations, but it is only that GPMS where they felt that uh, the sincerity of the divine plan, that they will be receiving the benefits. uh, maybe with the development of what's been going on in their area, because last week they said that more houses are being built in their area, and just 2 days ago they told me that they are having a celebration for the church they have built in their area. And also uh, they have mentioned that they secure a land title for the 30 hectares of ancestral domain that they are occupying in Palawan. So that maybe is the thing that they are happy about, that their sovereignty was recognized. And they are inviting me to attend their celebration. So hopefully I can witness and have more updates when I go and visit there, hopefully on the 15th of November. They will be having that celebration. So that's all I can share for now. Thank you.
Yes, so Lodi, it is very important if the native Indian from there start to understand what GPMS is, and if they come with GPMS, because maybe through the alliance, international alliance, or other ways, also the native Indian from the North America may start to hear about, or they may start to accept GPMS. because they hear a lot, but we are linked as friends on Facebook through many ways, but and also other groups, but they are not coming to do GPMS yet. Yeah, so this will have a very great influence also for the North America. As we may see, North America is not a continent that it is alone. It's like a planet itself. It is linked with all other parts of the earth. So what happened in one place will influence another one. So this is why we have no border, and the people needs to start to look like a big family. Yeah. So and a little bit about the reserve in North America, in Canada. I listen a little bit from my neighbors about the benefits from the reserve that they have there. GPMS is much above, so they have no benefits, no really benefits on the reserve. Paying no utilities, making a house that they want, no restriction on buildings. This is GPMS too, but keeping the quality enough. So GPMS is coming with good new technology implementation and everything. So the people do not need to experience what my neighbors experience right now on the reserve. Here it's a little bit 0 degree outside or even under during the nighttime, and the house is still not prepared there and will be not probably this month. So no, these are not benefits, no real benefits for Native Indians and for nobody. So GPMS has the true correct benefits for everyone that has a soul on earth, and we should move forward with GPMS. Really, I had enough to see people not having warm housing and good housing, and nobody deserves to live in a mold space or something like so. And this is probably more than 50%, or it's recognized right now that 70% of the Canadian, they had an infiltration of enough serious infiltration of the water in their house. So the mold is a little bit on the air anyway, because it's not possible to be fixed. So in this situation, we need to rebuild a lot, and especially with the flooding that is happening, and really a large area like New York and also Toronto or Vancouver, there will be no solution. There will be absolutely no solution. For restriction of the law that I can see, we are not able to bring up the factories and have the salaries enough and everything that we need to start to develop for ourselves. And that it's not a correct way to live. So the Canadians should gather anytime, and I hope that will be also influenced by the Native Indians, that they may start to do GPMS also in Canada. Let the independence of Alberta down, because it's nothing to be independent. It's to be independent from the evil. It's all about GPMS, and this is the true correct way. Yes, Rick.
Right at this moment, I'm divinely guided to bring up again that the possibility is always here, even in this moment, that for the existing members, um, we could begin, let's say, to generate funds very quickly to the members. However, again, with this, we have this full ability and capacity for the simple reasoning we have unlimited money right now. Every individual that is in GPMS is fully backed by unlimited intrinsic value beyond anything on earth, meaning that each individual, if you will, can generate instantly, let's say, a gazillion dollars, if that exists. But let's say And because of this, because of the nation of Divine-gpms.world, this money would have to be accepted and received in the system, the current system. But having said this, the current system would not last very long. In the matter of days, it would collapse as well because it could not, with its existing currencies, contend with the unlimited value of GPMS. So again, as I'm saying, and as we're sitting here, we can do everything instantly, but it's just divinely again held that no, we must wait for more to join, at least at this moment. But again, as we said, within 24 hours from now, if we had one nation that we had the majority in, that one nation, the majority within that would all be receiving these unlimited um, funds. When I say unlimited, what we mean is that, yes, it's limited in the beginning because you have to have maintain an order with this. You cannot just give everyone $1 trillion and shut down the entire logistics of the world. That is nonsense. So it is done unlimitedly. Um, we have it and we will do it when it is time to do it. But again, getting back to what I said, very quickly within even the old physical ways, because Divine-gpms.world is a universal nation. It is a nation. It has its own laws and system of finance that the beast system that is out there now could not resist it at all. So having said this, they would have to accept it. And upon that entry into the beast system, distributing all of the unlimited funds very quickly, it also would implode. But there are these higher divine factors that are occurring. But nevertheless, I also need to say what I just said. There is more than one way to interject uh, Divine-gpms.world directly into this world right today, but it is divinely held, at least for this moment, because of the unlimited wealth with it. It is unprecedented. So there has to be the discipline and the responsibility with this yet, for the simple reason that we don't have enough in the higher consciousness to be able to be responsible with this incredible wealth. So they need to, and this is what a lot of the testing is going on, where they're being robbed of everything, if you will, and because of the great hardships, then they become, let's say, grateful and also responsible to know what to do in the future, if you will. And then they're able to understand and be uh, at least responsible to this great wealth so that things don't get out of hand. Again, you cannot shut down the logistics of the world by giving everyone, let's say, $1 trillion. But it does not negate the fact at all that we can do it. We can do it right now within a week, give everyone $1 trillion within 24 hours. We most likely could do that, but that is not the way that this plan is designed. It's designed to liberate humanity equally and to eradicate all of the suffering and the harm. But again, I just wanted to reiterate that I have said about this, I believe, several meetings or more ago, that again, we have the full skill set, the full knowledge, how to do this in more than one way. But again, it has to be the responsibility of enough of humanity and hopefully the majority before we can divinely do this for humanity, if that makes sense. Thank you.
I really hope that many people will start to see your Facebook, Rick, um, and they will start to put a question about Antarctica and everything. So we should come together. There is no division of the land, and one indigenous individual soul from here told me, but we have the natural border as water. And I said, no, you have the land under the water. So we should unite all the planet. The planet is our mother, and exactly as we are on this meeting today, representative from all the world and everything, we should start on our area and collaborate each other because similar things happens everywhere. And as we saw with Lodi, if something good happens in one area, this may influence naturally in another one. So, Rick, do you believe that the people from Vancouver, because it was an expectation in the past about Vancouver to be a little bit under the flooding because the ocean there or earthquake magnitude as 9 or 10 might happen? Oh, this will be huge for Canada, I'm telling you.
Let me say for the Vancouver area, it's been prophesized for that to, and especially Richmond, which is south of Vancouver, for that to possibly go under 3 feet of water in the Richmond community. And of course, this also would affect Vancouver and surrounding areas. To my present knowledge, it's nothing, let's say, great devastating. However, there will be these wake up calls, the same as in New York and New Jersey, that, not only recently, but also in the past with Sandy Hook as another example with what occurred. And I need to also say that Dubai is on the near term list as well. And a lot of Dubai, if you will, is right at the current sea level, to my knowledge. So you're going to have, see, we put out, and what I put out, what I was divinely given to put out, I believe a month or two ago, that ones were cautioned near the coasts up to 100-meter elevation, but they will be given forward notice if they need to move inland with it. But that was a serious prophecy, if you will, that was put out there. But it's also being accredited as we go forward because you are seeing the marginal increases in areas. And again, if it's what needs to occur, I will say that it will, and it does. And there is no stopping the divine forces, if you will. We don't wish to, no one wishes to see any suffering or any harm. However, again, humanity has to make the right choices, and they have to make it because they also need to know that humanity, by not making the right choices, are contributing to the intensity of these natural disasters because everything is energy. And the more stress that there is, stress, fear, and anger, the more stress it generates on Earth. It increases the intensity of storms, earthquakes, wind. Everything is adversely affected as a result. How do you tell that? to the world? Well, we just keep saying it, and eventually, after they've had enough testimony, then they can confirm it for themselves that it is true. But I don't believe we're going to get to those apocalyptic extents. The grave warnings are out there, as I said, and what we are actually seeing is more are turning to God and doing the right things, and the consciousness is being constantly elevated to do it. So it's not a fear mongering with it. However, it is the heads up to pay attention and do what is right. And there is no escaping that by any divine soul. So ultimately, it does occur. And then we said, we have the wild cards, if you will, with the first contact and also miraculous signs in the sky. So ones are taking notice. It's just us. We're all prepared and waiting and waiting for the others. So we didn't none of us come through this to lose. You've already won. We've already won, and it's just getting the rest to that place of realization that they've already won their liberation, their jubilee, their freedom. It's their heaven on earth. But again, it's just breaking the dark spell that was put upon their consciousness. Nevertheless, I'll keep it short. I'm pretty well done, I guess, with anything I wanted to say.
Yeah, so Everson in Brazil wants to spread GPMS to the masses, and he needs also help from also the people that have their location on Brazil. He tried to do that for weeks and weeks. Yeah, we should have a meeting about Brazil. By the same time, we need also more people involved from that area. So this will be amazing if the people hear our video and they will start to come to GPMS, and basically we will add to Everson team to start to develop also GPMS in Brazil. This is very important. About darkness, we had someone coming directly on our video from Germany in our last meeting. So I hope that team also could be formed. I know that Germany had a sort of sovereignty group for years and years. Even when I was living in Romania, I heard about that group, that they wanted to liberate Germany. They were very, very awake and everything. And so I really hope that the leaders from there may come with GPMS, because everything that I hear about them, their resistance was, how can I say, very hard touch by the actual system. So some leaders prefer do not be present inside of that group. So we should come together, then there will be a huge support for GPMS and come on GPMS direction. So this is the problem all the time, keeping borders. Keeping borders, it's not what has to be. This is only division, nothing more. So the people in Germany should understand that. I see all the time Aziz from India, but I do not really see consents from India coming. So I do not know exactly what is happening there, and Maziz, he's not speaking English. So if we turn like right now to see the last position with the number for about GPMS, we can see United States, Ireland, United Kingdom, and Philippines. So this is on the 2nd November 2025. These are the last ones. Okay, it was a little bit updated. And if we are looking, for example, for Canada, only 1,307. But when we are looking a little bit on our meetings, it's about only 3, 4 from living in Canada. From 1,307. So a Canadian-born Dave said he's immigrant, and Beatrice the same as immigrant. So we were born in another area, coming in Canada for years. So who is keeping, by the way, the true liberation of these lands as Canada are basically the people that they pay attention to GPMS, and they are involved with GPMS. And we hope that many may come in short time from now. If someone wants to add something for this meeting, because every meeting after 1 hour and 30 minutes start to be a little bit long.
I'll just add one thing in closing with Austria, what we're currently doing. What I wish to say again this week, some more important public notices will be put out. What I will say is the universal voice and jurisdiction of GPMS is being taken seriously within their judicial system. Although, let's say, nothing publicly is coming out, what I need to say is that they know that they have to comply with law, and that there are some serious side effects that is occurring, although nothing is public yet, to my knowledge. However, we are divinely making some more moves this week, divinely instructed to do. And again, mainly this is about freeing the children and restoring the families, not only in Austria, because it's connected worldwide. So this is a catalytic event, if you will, and it does affect the world. So we are in action. We are diligently moving forward with these divine instruments of law that cannot be refuted nor denied by the artificial legal systems, because, again, essentially, law has a foundation, and it is the foundation of at least the human rights, the inherent rights, which cannot be suppressed even by artificial law. It's where it began. But instead of me complicating things with that, I wish to say that we should see this week some more important advancements with this. And again, I remind everyone that it is a very powerful, real, universal voice and jurisdiction with the universal nation of Divine-gpms.world, even though it's not recognized, if you will, by any of the beast system. We are going through those throes currently that it has no choice as well, that it must comply. So, just to keep it simple, with that, love, light, and gratitude, everyone.
Thank you so much to everyone that listened our video and participated on the actual meeting. And I hope I will see you soon.
I'll end the live stream then.
Yes, so